What if I told you that a piece of silk once caused wars? That secrets were guarded so tightly in ancient China, anyone caught smuggling them faced death? What if I told you that a single road, one not even paved, helped build empires, spread religions, and carried a disease that killed nearly half of Europe? How did a Chinese emperor's secret mission turn into the most powerful trade route in human history? How did Buddhist monks from India reach Japan without GPS or even maps? Why did Europe's elite go mad for Chinese silk? And how is that ancient road still shaping our modern world today? Welcome to the astonishing, emotional, and deeply mysterious history of the Silk Road, the most important road you've never traveled. The Silk Road wasn't a single road or even made of silk. It was a massive web of trade routes stretching from the heart of ancient China all the way to Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. Over 7,000 kilometers long, it connected the East with the West, deserts with cities, mountains with empires. It was more than a trade route. It was the bloodstream of civilization. Silk was just the beginning. Along this road flowed spices, gold, jade, porcelain, ivory, tea, glass, paper, gunpowder, and art. But even more importantly, ideas flowed. Religions, languages, inventions, music, medicine, and yes, even deadly diseases. It all began in 138 BCE. The Han Dynasty was rising in China, but nomadic tribes from the north, the Xiongnu, were attacking their borders. So the emperor, Han Wudi, sent a young emissary named Zhang Qian on a dangerous, secret mission westward to find allies. Zhang Qian disappeared for over 13 years. Captured, imprisoned, escaped, recaptured. But he returned with something that would change everything. Knowledge of powerful kingdoms to the west, like Bactria, Parthia, and Sogdiana. He spoke of horses stronger than any in China, of spices and stones that glittered, of vast cities and foreign languages. And so the Silk Road was born, not by conquest, but by curiosity. Silk was once worth in gold. When Roman emperors first saw Chinese silk, they were mesmerized. It shimmered, it glowed, it flowed like water. The Roman elite couldn't get enough, but the Chinese kept the secret of silk production locked behind palace walls. Smuggling silkworms out of China? Punishable by death. Eventually, through stolen secrets and determined travelers, the knowledge would spread. But for centuries, silk was China's power. In return, the Chinese wanted horses, tough, fast, and agile. They also wanted Roman glassware, Indian gems, Persian silver, and Central Asian wool. Traveling the Silk Road wasn't for the weak-hearted. The Taklamakan Desert, whose name literally means you go in and never come out, swallowed caravans whole. Bandits lurked in the shadows. Sandstorms could erase your path. Thirst could kill you in days. Some merchants tied themselves to camels so they wouldn't be buried alive in sand. To survive, they traveled in large caravans, guarded by hired warriors, stopping at oasis cities like Kashgar, Merv, Samarkand, and Bukhara, each a melting pot of languages, foods, gods, and cultures. Trade brought more than goods. Buddhism spread from India across the mountains into China and Japan, carried by monks who walked thousands of miles with nothing but scrolls and prayer. Temples rose in deserts. Caves were filled with golden Buddhas. Ancient texts were translated, copied, and preserved. Islam, Christianity, and Zoroastrianism also traveled these roads. Armenian churches rose in Persia. Persian architecture influenced Chinese temples. Languages mixed, beliefs evolved. The Silk Road became a highway of the soul. Then came Genghis Khan. In the 13th century, he and his descendants unified most of Eurasia under one rule. The Mongol Empire became the largest contiguous empire in human history. For the first time in centuries, the entire Silk Road was under one power. Trade flourished, safety returned, roads were protected. Enter Marco Polo, the young Venetian who traveled all the way to the court of Kublai Khan in China. He witnessed things Europe had never seen: paper money, coal heating, massive cities with streetlights. His stories inspired the age of exploration and possibly even Christopher Columbus. But there was a dark passenger on those caravans, the Black Death. Originating in Central Asia, the plague traveled along the Silk Road on fleas riding rats, hidden in trade caravans and ships. By the time it reached Europe in the 1340s, over 75 million people would die. Entire cities vanished. Fields went untended. Faith was shaken. Art and culture changed forever. The same road that brought prosperity also brought apocalypse. The Silk Road began to fade in the 15th century. The Mongol Empire crumbled, banditry returned, political borders hardened, and then the Ottoman Empire blocked many eastern trade routes. Europe turned to the sea. Explorers like Vasco da Gama, Magellan, and Columbus were driven by the desire to reconnect with Asia, but by water, not land. The age of ships replaced the age of caravans, but the Silk Road never truly died. In the languages we speak, the foods we eat, the inventions we use, the faiths we follow, the art we admire. Even today, China is reviving the Silk Road through the Belt and Road Initiative, an enormous infrastructure project linking over 70 countries in trade and cooperation. The ancient road that once connected empires is now a blueprint for the future. The Silk Road was never just about trade. It was about the courage to cross deserts with hope, the strength to trust strangers, the will to share stories, prayers, and dreams with those who looked, spoke, and lived differently. It shows us that the world has always been connected, not by politics, not by power, but by human curiosity. So when you drink tea, wear silk, listen to a foreign instrument, or read a translated book, you are walking the Silk Road, even today, because the road never truly ended. It just became a part of us.